Hey, how you doing, guys? It's Daisy Chiwako. I hope you're really well. First time I'm doing a YouTube live, but I'm giving it a go, and we'll see how it works out. So, listen, I wanted to do this video talking about really establishing why you are fighting for your marriage. So, there's people that have gone through things in their marriage and things that are quite devastating, but they've decided that they're going to stay and fight, but then they're finding that fight really difficult. And one of the reasons, through working with many couples, one of the reasons that I found that people struggle to sort of stay in the fight and stay committed and not have sort of up days, down days, up days, down days, is because they don't have a solid reason as to why they're fighting, or the reason that they're fighting for the marriage just isn't strong enough. It isn't worthy enough. So here's some of the things that I hear people say. Oh, you know what? I'm staying and I'm fighting for this marriage because if I leave, I have nowhere to go. That's not a reason to stay in a dead-end marriage. That's not a reason to stay and fight for a marriage and go through all the things that you need to go through to make it work because you've got nowhere else to go. Another reason people say they're staying in a marriage is, because our family really gets on. Who cares if your family really gets on? That's not a reason that's going to keep you going when times get tough. When the fighting gets tough, when the battle gets a bit weary, the fact that your families like each other isn't going to be enough to keep you going. The fact that, you've got nowhere else to go isn't going to be enough to keep you going. These are not reasons to stay in a relationship. These are not reasons to stay in a marriage. Oh, I'm staying because we've been together for so long. So are you just going to stay in this place, in this bad marriage, because you've been in it for so long? You're going to waste another how many years fighting for something where the reason, the why isn't strong enough? And, when we're looking at business, or we're looking at self-development, people are always telling us that the why is so important. Why are you doing this? Why are you here? Why are you fighting? Why are you putting up with this? Why are you willing to carry on in this marriage for another 5, 10, 20, 30 years? Why? Now, please understand, I'm talking from the point of view of somebody who absolutely believes that people should stay and fight wherever possible. Doesn't have to happen in all cases, but wherever possible, people should stay and fight. But I also believe that if you don't get the reason why you are staying to fight firm, if you don't have a solid reason to stay and fight, then that fight is going to be tough. That fight is hard. And some days you're going to give up. And then it's all going to be a waste of time. Now, my experience was that when Mr. Chiwako and I separated for a little bit, and then through prayer, the Lord told me that, this marriage was worth fighting for. My next question was, why? Why am I going to stay and fight? Why am I going to fight for this? Let me really be sure that the why is strong enough so that I can fight with all gusto. If I know what the end point is, do you understand? If I know what the end point is, then I'm likely to stay in and fight and give it everything I've got. But if I'm just fighting here blindly, I don't even know what I'm fighting for, and the reasons that I'm fighting are so weak, they're so fickle, then I'm not likely to go through it with all my strength and with all my might, with all faith and belief. Do you understand what I'm saying? So knowing why, don't just be in this life, just floating by, not really knowing what you're doing, why you're doing it, what you're doing it for, or having really, really weak whys, or having whys that are based on fear, such as, where would I go? How would I make it? How would I feed myself and my children? They're all fear-based whys. You never stay in a relationship or a marriage because of fear. What will people say? Fear-based whys. Those whys are not going to see you through this battle if fighting for your marriage is what you have chosen to do. They're not going to see you through. Fighting because the families get on and you don't want to mess things up. You don't want to shake up the status quo with the families. It's all fear-based. It's fear-based wise. It's fear-based wise. Now even listen to this. Fighting for the children has to be done with wisdom, because if you're holding on to a marriage that is abusive, that is traumatic in nature, then is staying for the children the best thing for the children? Or again, is it just fear? I took a good look at my marriage and I was like, I am going to fight for this marriage because this man is amazing and I love him. And we have the potential of having an amazing marriage and building this legacy. That's what I want. I want this legacy for myself and for my children. And I know that we can get it. He is not a wicked man. We've been together beforehand. I know how we are together. I know we can get that again. I know that I have the power and the influence and the faith to create the marriage that we want to have. Our love is worth it. Take everything else away. Our love is worth the fight. If you're not able to say that your love is worth the fight, you've got to ask yourself, what are you really fighting for then? What are you really fighting for? And are you likely to win this fight? Now, one of the work that I do with couples is really helping them to establish their why. Sometimes as an individual, because sometimes it can take just one person to fight for the marriage. Ideally, as a couple, establishing what it is. Why are we here? Why did we get married in the first place? Why did we get married in the first place? Why are we here? What is the point? What are we going to invest this money into coaching for? What are we going to spend time, fighting and praying and working together for our marriage for? What is the point? What's the end goal? And when you're able to really establish that, then you'll find that when the tough times come, you know what you're fighting for. When it gets a bit difficult, you know what you're fighting for. When there's hindrances and blockages, you know what you're fighting for. Does that make sense? Listen, if you want help to establish the purpose of your marriage, why you are staying there, how to go about this fight so that you can fight with strength and with faith and with belief, then definitely connect with me. I run a 90-day program where I work with couples to radically transform their marriage for the better, radically transform their marriage for the better. And all you need to do is book a free breakthrough call with me. And we'll spend 45 minutes talking about your present situation and where you want to go. And then after that, we see if it's a good fit for us to work together. But in the meantime, it would be amazing if you really took a moment to sit back and ask yourself, why? Why am I here? Genuinely and honestly, why am I here? Why am I in this marriage? Why have I decided to fight? And if I've decided to fight for the wrong reasons, let me try and find the right reason. Let me find the right reason. Let me genuinely ask myself, am I fighting here for love? Am I fighting here for legacy? Am I fighting here because I believe that actually we do have a hope of an amazing marriage and it's going to benefit our lives and our children's lives and those to come? Or am I just staying here because of a load of fear-based stuff? All right, guys, if you're not already following, make sure you do. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And I'm going to try and be doing this more on YouTube. Let's see how it works. Let's see how it works.